part because there's a couple people that were absent who are going to need these notes. Okay, we're on page 57. We're starting our energy transfer model unit. Okay, and today, the first thing I want to talk about energy is that it's measured in joules, which is just capital J. Let me turn the lights off up here in the front, because I think it's a little bit easier to see. Or kilojoules, KJ, okay, which I have an affinity for because it's my initials, okay. You actually have done energy calculations before in chemistry. I don't know if you remember Q equals MC delta T. Q was heat, and you had mass and you had temperature and things like that, but you ended with joules of like joules absorbed by a substance or joules released by a substance. And what I'm excited about is I'm actually about to start my energy unit with my chem kids next week. So I'm doing energy in physics and energy in chemistry. It's gonna be great. The other thing I want to talk about is energy. There are no, or I'll say there are not different types of energy. Okay, sometimes students, even teachers will say like, hey, we have this type of energy. There are not different types of energy. It's just stored in different ways. In different ways and places. And that's what we're going to be making a list of today is what are those places? What are those ways that energy can be stored? And it can be moved from one storage place to another. Can easily be transferred from one place to another. Okay, but it's the same energy in every point. A joule is a joule, or 1 kilojoule, 1,000 joules is 1,000 joules, no matter where it is. Okay, I like to use the simile of it's just like money. Okay, energy is just like money. If you have $20, you could have $20 cash, $20 bill. You could have a $20 check. That piece of paper represents $20. You could have $20 in your bank account, in your checking account, which means you don't have it in your hand, but it's there and you can get it out anytime you want. You could have $20 in your money market account, which means you can access it. You're just getting a better yield on it. You could have $20 in a stock. You could have $20 in a bond. It's stored in different places. You could transfer it to something else, but $20 is $20. Okay, it has the same quantity no matter where it is. It's the same with energy. Okay, we can put it in different places, but 20 joules is 20 joules no matter where we put it. Does that make sense? Okay, now, so I'll just say it's like money. It can be stored in different places, but it's worth the same amount. Okay. All right, so we're gonna make a little chart here of different places or different ways that energy can be stored. Where and how can energy be stored? Okay. We're going to put its name here and a description. Then we're going to label, is it mechanical or chemical? There's other types. but those are the two main ones. And then what's the symbol? Okay, so we're kind of just creating a chart of different places energy can be stored and where. And by the description, I mean, like, what does it depend upon? What needs to happen for energy to be stored in this place? And then is it mechanical or chemical? And what's the symbol to represent it? By the way, the symbol will always be capital E for energy because it's the same energy everywhere. It's the subscript that will change. The subscript will have different letters to represent the different place that energy is stored. Okay. So I'll start off with one that a lot of people are familiar with. And then you'll give me other ones that you know. The first one is kinetic. Energy can be stored kinetically, okay? And the description is, it has to have motion. Object must be in motion, okay? K-I-N is a Latin root. Oh, I can't remember if it's Latin or Greek. Don't quote me on it. It's one of the two, and it means motion. Okay, like the study of kinesiology is the same root word, which means like you're studying the habits of and the way the body moves. Okay, the object must be in motion. It is mechanical. Okay, meaning it has to do with what it's doing, not like what it's made of, not like the atoms it's made of. And the symbol is EK. But this, I'll also put here, it also depends on mass. Okay, for example, if I have the same velocity object, like a tennis ball rolling at 1 meter per second versus an elephant charging at 1 meter per second, they don't store the same amount of energy. The elephant has more energy, even though it has the same velocity, because it has more mass. It's going to be harder to stop it. Okay. Okay. I gave you the first one. Somebody in class, where's another place that energy can be stored? Kale. Potential. Now, I'll go and tell you, there's lots of different lots of different potential storages. So describe what you're thinking about.
Like a ball sitting on top of a hill.
Aha, this one, it has to do with height. Object must have a height. He talked about a ball sitting on top of a hill. We call this gravitational potential energy. Okay, if an object is on the floor, it has no gravitational potential. Nothing is stored in gravitational potential energy. If you move it up 1 meter, now it has energy stored with gravitational potential energy. And that's because, like, if it were to fall off the hill or fall off the table, it would start moving. So there must be something stored because it has the potential to move. Okay. It is mechanical. And the symbol is EG. This one I'm also going to put here. It also depends on mass. Okay. If I am painting and I have a really tall ladder and I leave a paintbrush at the top, I'm not too worried about it falling on me. Like if it does, whatever, I'm going to get hit in the head with a wet paintbrush. Oh well. But I'm never going to put like 2 full gallons of paint at the top of a ladder. Because if a gallon of paint falls off and hits me in the head, that's no laughing matter. That had a lot more energy stored in it. Okay. All right. Because of its mass. So it depends on height and mass. Okay. Let's put another potential down. Jack.
Like you're showing back slingshot tension.
Aha! Slingshot. you pull it back and it has stretched, or a rubber band or something like that. We call this one elastic potential. Okay, it has to be a material that has elasticity, that can stretch or compress. What's something that you compress it and you know the energy stored within it when it's compressed, because if you release it, it bounces back? Jack. A spring. Okay. If you turn to the next page, look at this. This is like a little spring with a little what's it called? Like roller coaster car. And it's like, you know, the spring can be compressed and zoop, it launches it on the roller coaster loop. Okay. We're gonna have compressed springs or stretched rubber bands. This is mechanical. And the symbol is EEL for elastic. It depends, this one depends on how much it's stretched, but it also depends on what it's made of. Like, how tight is that spring? Is it like a slinky where it's really loose, or is it really tight? So this one kind of is weird. This one's not about mass. This one's about like the material. I'll say depends on the material. And how much stretch it can do, or how much compression it can have. Okay. All right, let's keep going. And this is going to be the storage. This is going to be the mechanical or chemical. And this is going to be the symbol. Oops, I'm kind of off the screen. Okay. Where else has energy been stored? Can energy be stored? Somebody on Zoom. Think about other classes besides physics. Where can energy be stored? Ooh, somebody sent something in the chat. Ooh, Madison, nice, light. Light energy. Okay. Radiation, ultraviolet radiation. Or radiation, I'll just say a radiation wave. It could be visible light, like from the what's it called? Like from the sun or from a light bulb, but it could be not in the visible spectrum. Okay, it could be infrared, it could be ultraviolet, okay, it could be X-rays. Okay, is this mechanical or chemical? Oh, I don't know the answer to that. I want to say it's both. Question mark. Symbol EL for light. Love it. Anything else? There's a couple others that you've talked about in other classes, I know. Kale.
Energy stored in molecules, you know, like an isotope.
Electrical potential energy has to do with charges being held apart. Charges, we could have like charges or opposite word charges. Charges, I'll just say interacting. Okay, charges are like magnets. They either attract or repel. So there's a potential stored there. If you're holding them in place and you release them, they are going to move. Okay, this is both mechanical and potential, and the symbol is EEP. Okay, Jack.
Is magnetic energy all the same?
Yeah, well, it's hard because magnetic is different because it's not energy, it's a force. Okay, but it is similar in that there's gonna be repeller attraction. The one I'm thinking of that I know you did in chemistry is thermal energy. It's stored in the motion, in the heat of the object. It's heat, it's temperature, it's the motion of the particles, how fast they're moving. Okay, and this is chemical. This has to do with how fast those particles are moving. And it's ETH, which stands for thermal. Okay. All right. And there are more. There's chemical potential energy. That's energy stored in bonds. Actually, let's write that one down. That's an important one. That one comes up in biology all the time. I was helping somebody in a study hall review for photosynthesis. Chemical potential. Energy stored in a bond. Okay. And it was photosynthesis and cellular respiration. Cellular respiration, you have this molecule in you called ATP, adenosine triphosphate. The triphosphate stands for 3 phosphate groups. And every time your body uses energy, you break one of those phosphate bonds off, phosphate groups off. And whenever you break a bond, energy is released. Okay, so that's how you're releasing your stores of energy. You're breaking a chemical bond. This is chemical, and it's definitely chemical. Okay, and different bonds store different amounts of energy. Okay, all right. I'm going to put a star by the ones that we're using in class. Flip to the other page. You guys, actually, it's funny because 7th hour did a totally different order than you. So all the ones that they wanted were on the back side, but yours are on the front. These 3 are the 3 that we're going to track. Okay, we're going to track kinetic energy storage, gravitational potential energy storage, and elastic potential energy storage. Okay, and next week, I don't know if it'll be next week or the week after, but we will start by using the these like little rubber poppers in class. Okay, I have large ones, I have small ones. These are like little toys you get, you know, like in a tree bag when you're a kid. Okay, we're going to be using these. The reason why we're going to be using these is because when I stretch it, it now has energy stored elastically. It has elastic potential energy because when I put it on the table and I release it, it pops, and then it's moving, and then it has different heights. So the energy is going to be transferred into different storages places depending on where it is in its motion. And we're going to have to track that. Okay. So this unit's all about tracking how many joules are there and where are the joules stored at different points of motion. Okay. All right. That's a good place to stop. If you are on Zoom and you have no questions, you are free to go.